Sometimes the data we want to report on comes to us in feeds, perhaps a daily feed or a monthly feed, and it comes in the same format, and sometimes it's even in a file like a CSV file. And we're going to do some reporting on this now. I'm going to show you in Excel, but the same would be true for Power BI as well. So what I'm going to do in my Excel 2016 is click on Data, and in the Get and Transform section, and again, if you're on 2013, you can use Power Query to get the same results. I'll click on New Query from File. Now I've mentioned that it's a variety of files that's going to come in. So I'm going to point to a folder that I'll place these in as opposed to an individual file. So let me pull up a folder I have now. Here we go. So I've got two store files here in my store files folder. So I'm going to just highlight that right now and paste that in, and then go ahead and click OK. And so it's going to look in that path for files. Now, again, the files have to be formatted exactly the same. So now I can see my files, including some metadata like the day it was created and so forth. And I'm going to go ahead and just click on Edit to open my query editor. Now, when the query editor opens, I'm going to see both of my files there. I really just want the content. So I'm going to highlight the content file, right mouse click, and I'm going to remove the other columns because this is the only column I care about. Click on the double down arrow, which will then expand the columns for that content. So if I were to look, remember I had two files, Oakland and another one. If I click on load more, Oakland and Portland. So I could see the cities there. Notice I also see something called city. So the title of the column is repeating, and that's because I have two records out here. So it's getting the header from Oakland, but when it sees that header again in Portland, it thinks it's a record. So I need to make sure I remove that, and I'm going to just use this text filter, does not equal, and then over here, when it pops up, I could either type it in or choose from the drop down. So I'm going to type it in and then go ahead and click OK. And now as I continue to add folders here, that city column or row will not display. And the benefit of that is, notice it's not displaying, the benefit of that is neither will the records that have that total here as well. So I've already excluded that city column. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose close and load. I'm going to click on the words rather than the icon. So I could select close and load to. This will put the data. I'm going to go ahead and add the data to my memory model. It is, oops, I accidentally said send it to a table anyhow, but that's okay. It's adding it to my table here. And you can see it's got a lot of rows, 266 rows. There we go, got all the data now. So I'm going to just simply create a pivot table, and I'm going to put the pivot table right next to it so that we can be able to see them side by side with each other. All right, so I'm going to just drag the city and put it in the rows, and I'm going to grab the store sales and put them in the value. And that's going to be it for my pivot table. It's nothing really fancy. I'm not even going to, you know what, I will worry about formatting that. Well, that's okay. I'll leave it just like that. You can see right now we just have Oakland and Portland. So let's see what happens. I'm going to pull up that store sales again. I've got another file out here with 3 other towns, 3 other cities. So let's put that in to that same folder. I'm just going to paste them in. So now I have 5 cities. I've added San Francisco, Seattle, and Tacoma. So now all I have to do is click on data and refresh. Notice I don't even have to go into the query. And it is going through and updating and reviewing my query over here, which will then update my table, which should update my pivot table. Now, sometimes when you do this, you do have to click refresh twice. Let's see if I have to this time. One because it's uploading the query and one because it's uploading the table. But I think Microsoft is working on that. Oh, there we go. You could see all 4 of them. And all I had to do was add the tables. A great use of this is something that Jen Kuntz came up with. She extracts her Twitter analytics each month, dumps them into a folder, and lo and behold, her Power BI updates. Hope this helps.